When it comes to buying a property here in Nigeria, particularly the famous capital city of Lagos and Abuja, there are just so many lies. The agent wants your permission while the seller just wants your money. But it's now up to you to avoid some of these big traps when you are buying a property here in Nigeria. So in this episode of Meet the Property Guy, we'll be looking at 5 of the biggest lies you are going to come across when not to buy a property here in Nigeria. Now, in case you are coming across a video like this for the first time, this is Meet the Property Guy property channel, and this is where we discuss everything real estate, either you want to buy, invest, or sell a property here in Nigeria. After watching this video, you can also go to our previous guides and previous videos. You are going to learn a lot. Now, I also advise you to subscribe to our channel so that you don't miss any of our very important video guides. So let's go into the biggest lies you are going to come across when you want to buy a land or when you want to buy a house. Now, the most common lie that almost everyone say when they want to sell a property is the land or the property does not have issues. Now, it might be true that the property is genuine and the document is genuine, but that's not enough for you. You must have a document for you to verify. You must have a document which must ascertain that the people that you are buying the property from are actually the rightful owner of that property. Now, the most common scenario when people fall into this trap or fall into this lie is when they are buying from someone close, maybe a relative, a cousin, a long-time friend, a religious leader, or someone they respect a lot and trust enough, and they just feel their word of mouth that the property does not have issue is enough. Never buy a property when there is no documents to tender that show true ownership. If the document of that property has some issues, I would advise that you don't buy. If there is no document for you to verify the status of that land, I would advise that you don't buy. So never fall into the trap of just the word of mouth that the land does not have issue. Always verify, regardless of who you are buying from. The second big lie that you are going to come across whenever you want to buy a property is this very common theme that you can sell at double the price in few months' time. Now, a lot of realtors and a lot of agents, they say this theme when they want to close a deal or when they want to seal a deal. Now, we all know that real estate appreciates. Either you are buying a land, you are buying a house, or you are buying a block of flats, they are always going to appreciate. But how fast will that property appreciate? And how fast can you sell that property when you want to sell? Now, a lot of times I like being real and being factual with my clients. Now, this property is going to appreciate, but at so rate in a number of months. Don't buy a property with the mindset that in few months or in 6 months time or in 8 months time you can sell at double the price. That's a very big lie. Now, because you need to ask yourself, in 6 months time, if I want to sell this property, who is going to buy this property, and why would the person be willing to pay as that high for that property at that period of time? Now, most cheap properties that are selling around Ibeju-Lekki, and some of these outskirts in Lagos and Abuja, they are going to appreciate, but the appreciation rate of this property will take around 36 to 48 months before you can get like 50% to 80% returns rate. So you need to understand that buying a property or buying real estate is not for sharp money. It's something of a long time, and timing is very key. I did a previous video on this my channel where I discussed in detail and comprehensively about investing in real estate. I would advise that you watch that video so that you learn about timing, when to sell, what type of property to buy, and what type of returns that you should be expecting from that property. So never fall into the lie that in few months time you can sell at double the price. Another very common lie whenever you are buying a property is when the property sellers or the property agents tell you, don't worry, it's not important. Whenever you want to buy a property, everything is important. If it's a house you want to buy, check for everything: a leaking pipe, a slanting fence. Every sign you see in the house, you should always verify and ask enough details and information about it. Nothing is less important. Nothing should be overlooked whenever you want to buy a property. Every sign you see on the property, every markings you see on the property should be verified, and enough details and enough information should be given about that. So you should not sit and rest your mind about any details that the property agent or the property developer are giving you about the property. You should also go on and verify the information they are giving you that is actually true. Another thing is, if there are promises or agreements that you are going into with the property sellers about maybe any modification or any developments that have to do on the property after you have paid or after you have purchased, I would advise that you ensure all these are written, signed and sealed, because it's very, very important. Whenever you have paid, a lot of this negotiation power is not on you again, it's now on the property sellers. So you have to ensure that you are adequately secured, and that's why you need to involve a property lawyer for them to do all this verification for you and add all this into a contract agreement which both parties are going to sign. Now, the scariest of the lies that you can come across whenever you want to buy a property is when the title document of that property is in view. There are a lot of lands that you are going to see being advertised with CFO in view, excision in process and other things like that. Now, although because of the bureaucracy whenever about processing that land title documents here in Nigeria, either you want to process the land title in Ministry of Land in Alausa or Ministry of Land in Abuja, is very, very tedious and can take a long time. So at times these property companies or the property seller can actually be saying the truth about the property documents being in process. But regardless, if a property document is in process, there must always be an application, a document to show that, okay, truthfully, at the Ministry of Land, this land or this property is actually under process for either CFO, governor's consent, or under process for excision. Now, with this application documents, you can easily go to Ministry of Lands and verify if truthfully is under process and the current stage that the property sellers, either the property company or property developer, have gotten to in obtaining that document. So just the CFO in process or CFO in view is not just enough. There must be an evidence of application for you to verify that truthfully this CFO is in view. Now, in my previous video where I discussed about property contract, I also advise that if you are buying a property with either CFO in view or excision in view, that you add it in a contract document, that if the property seller or if the property developer does not really obtain that document, you are liable for a compensation or liable for a refund. So this is going to protect you and secure you in the sense that they are going to ensure that they actually finish the processing of that document, and you can go on in perfecting the title of that document. So CFO in view, excision in view, you need to go a step further for you to verify the particular stage that application have gone to in the Ministry of Land. Lastly, one of the big lies that you are also going to come across whenever you want to buy a property is when the property sellers are telling you that the documents that are going to give you is enough, don't need to do any other thing again. Now, that's a big lie, because whenever it comes to property, possession is not the most important thing, it's documentation. Is who have the right documents that owns a property, not who is staying there or who built there. So a lot of property companies, after you have completed the purchase, they are going to give you a survey. Most times this survey is a professional survey, not a registered copy. Also, they are also going to give you a deed of assignment. It's very, very important that the deed of assignment is signed by both parties and sealed by a lawyer. If it's not sealed by a lawyer, it's not a legal document. You can't tender it in court. So once the documents, you have your provisional survey and you have your deed of assignment you have collected that is sealed by a lawyer, then the next step, which I'm going to advise, is that you register the survey. Go to the office of the Surveyor General in the state that you bought that property and apply for a registered survey based on the provisional survey that you have. After obtaining your red copy, you can also go on, depending on the value of the property that you bought, you can either go for a CFO on the property, or if the property have a CFO already, you can also apply for a governor's consent. So this is just for you to ensure that you have the title documents on that property perfected. So you shouldn't just rely on the documents that the property sellers give you after purchase. You should also go on to register most of these documents in the Land Bureau, so that every detail there will now carry your name and every record will show that ownership have been fully transferred to you. That's it in summary, the 5 biggest lies that you can come across whenever you are buying a property. And based on the few details that I've shared, have you fallen into the trap of any of these 5 big lies? Have you bought a property without asking for the documents? Have you bought a property and just rely on the document that property sellers they give you, or have you bought a property without actually going into a contract agreement with the property sellers? You can share your thoughts with us via the comments below, or you can also reach us directly on our WhatsApp, and we can advise you on the next steps and the simple guides that you can take just to ensure that you are not falling into any of these traps. So as me, number one property on the planet, your property advisor, your property consultant, Rabi Mustafa. Thanks for watching this episode of Meet the Property Guy. See you next time.